All right, just wanted to post another quick phone update. I'm probably going to call it a weekend for working on this because this weekend has been mostly a bust. Uh, maybe we could call, I mean, maybe this weekend's one step forward, one step back, although it usually feels like one tiny bit forward, a huge leap back, but it's probably not as bad as it seems. It's this damn keyboard. Um, this keyboard is very annoying to work on. Has a lot of screws, so I kind of want to take it apart, put it back together as infrequently as possible. And this keyboard seems to want me to take it apart and put it back together all the fucking time. Because when I got it, there were keys that were not working, and the foam was fine. It's just that there were dirty contacts and things like that. So now I got to figure out what the hell is going on because I decided, all right, let's just take it completely apart. Let's fix it up brand new, and then we don't have to take it the fuck apart again anymore. Um, and let's try retrobrighting it while we're at it. And I decided to follow the 8-bit guy's lead on retrobrighting yellow keys using a stovetop method for heat rather than the sun. Um, which it's great that it worked for him. But I have to say, I'd strongly, strongly, strongly recommend against it because, as you can see, these keys are still as yellow as ever. And so that means I basically have a bottle of hair care product for retro brighting that was a complete waste of money. Um, I left that thing in 140-degree water with a sous vide machine, water, and a full bottle of that hair care stuff um, at 140 degrees for a full damn day. And there is not any improvement on these keys that I can see. Um, so that was a waste. But while I was cooking the keys, I set my sights on the floppy drive problem, and I managed to get the floppy and hard drive cage out of there, which is probably going to be a bitch to get back in because it was a tight fit to yank it out. And yanking out is a little easier than going back in because yank it out, you just need to get it out. Put it back in. Not only do you got to fight the tight conditions, but you got to get it in just the right spot. So I'm not looking forward to that. I did manage to clean up this case quite a bit without removing it from the chassis. So I'm quite happy with how this machine is looking cleaned up. I mean, this looks nice. The keyboard looks a lot better. There's still some scuffs that I couldn't get everything, but it looks a heck of a lot nicer than it did when I got it. This case is looking great. I can't wait to see what this looks like put back together. Um, the one downside is that I still can't get the damn handle off of here, which means I also can't get this plastic piece off to really clean that up, although I could probably scrub that in place. But I really want to get this handle off because it's awful. It is ripping apart, um, and I have a better handle that's intact that I could probably stain the worn spot so and it'll look nicer and feel nicer because that thing you pick it up, you just feel like the insides poking through. Um, so while the keys are cooking, I got the drives out. I opened up the top off the floppy drive. I dabbed the head with a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol. And in my testing, it is booting to the floppy much more consistently now. But, well, there were two problems. One, I figured, well, the keys are cooking. Let's see if I can boot a floppy because I just need to boot a floppy. I don't need a keyboard. And only a programmer, only a programmer can think it's a great idea to um, have the keyboard error respond with press F1 to continue. I don't understand the logic behind, present the error that there's no keyboard to ensure that the person reads the error, make them acknowledge the error that there is no keyboard present by using the keyboard that we just determined is not present. I mean, it seems to me common sense that you just give it to the count of 10 and let it continue on. So at least you can see what happens after that if you're trying to troubleshoot, but that doesn't seem to be how programmers think. I I have quite a disdain for programmer logic, although some of my friends are programmers and I pick on them all the time and they pick on me back too. So I just don't get that. I mean, it's like the classic joke in computers, no keyboard detected, press F1 to continue. Why? Why? I don't get it. But anyways, there you go. So I could not test the floppy until I got the keyboard back together. So this afternoon, gathered all the keys, put them all back into place, click them all in there. They're all nice together. Put all the screws back in. It looks nice, feels nice. These F keys are quite tight. I don't know if they felt like that before or not. There's not a whole lot of give to them, but that just might be the design. I didn't use it a whole lot before, so I don't have a whole lot to go on. The F10 key broke when I took it out. The little tabs that go into the middle there that hold it in place decided to stay in there, and the key decided to separate from them. And there's two ways to look at it. One, damn, crap, shit. The other way to look at it is, hey, only one key broke, ripping all these old keys of old brittle plastic out of here. So it depends how you want to look at that. I mean, the F10 key is not the most critical key, and I think if you push that stub, that will still activate it. I mean, the only better key to break, I suppose, would be the tilde, because my computer land keyboard has no tilde, but that clearly works. And who the hell ever uses a tilde anyways? Yeah. So where did that bring us? Did that bring us to a successful test? Floppy boots and keyboard is all fine and dandy? Of course not. So if I turn this on, it powers on. It still boots, so that's always good. We get the flash screen. We had lights blinking over here, so it's detecting the keyboard. It counts up to 640K of RAM. And we get a keyboard error. What's up with that? Floppy drive does its thing. Wants me to hit F1 to continue with the keyboard error, because of course it does, but at least this time the keyboard error isn't that it's completely missing. Still dumb to make me use a thing that you're having a problem with. Floppy drive whirs up to light, and then it wants me to enter the date. And it's consistently booted to disks that have been very problematic. So I gotta say, floppy drive, cleaning ahead, cleared it up. So that's like the one good thing I had going for me this weekend, is that cleaning the head of the floppy drive has got stability out of the floppy drive. And also the case looks nice and pretty. But now, if you notice, it's automatically filling in for the date Q7Y. So it seems that the keyboard, and as I hit the backspace key, it starts throwing dashes in addition to backspacing. So my Q, my Y, my 7, and my dash key are pretty funky. Actually, it's much better now than it was earlier. Earlier, it was just filling up lines and then beeping, and that's the keyboard error. Basically, the keyboard error is stuck key. It's getting key commands that it's not expecting while booting up. So, yeah. In the process of taking this keyboard apart and putting it back together to fail to retro-write the keys, not only do I still have a yellow keyboard, but I also have a yellow keyboard with sticky keys and a broken F10. So fixing up this keyboard has been a total failure. I've made no improvements other than cleaning things up, which I could have done without removing all the keys. And I've made things much worse. And as I tap on this, a bunch of Y's, 7s, Q's, oh, an X in there as well. So yeah, this I don't know. I mean, clearly contact is being made that shouldn't be being made, but I put everything back together as it was. So I don't know why why the foam now is making more contact than it was before. I mean, I didn't pull any of the foam out. The foam has actually held up on this keyboard. I don't know if Compaq changed the foam material between the Portable and the Portable 2, but I will say that when you take apart a portable keyboard, disintegrated foam comes falling out of it. I took this apart, it was all still intact. So I did not change that foam. I did not remove any of those foam pieces. So they must just have, in the course of doing this, for some reason, have come loose, or parts are resting a little differently. I can't make much sense of it. But I'm going to have to take this keyboard apart again and try to figure out why the keys aren't resting right and causing all these problems. Although the fact that it seems to be a select number of keys suggests that I just need to focus on those keys maybe. One thing that's bothering me is my W key is resting higher than the other keys. I gotta say, this is the worst keyboard I've ever worked on. Not a fan. Not to mention, it's unique to everything because, I mean, all the first line of Compaq portables, I'm pretty sure Compaq Portable, Compaq Plus, Compaq 286 probably all use the same keyboard, the same parts. Then you get the Compaq 2 redesigned keyboard, has rubber instead of springs, still has the foam. And then the Compaq Portable 3, I'm pretty sure doesn't have foam. I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to take it apart. John says foam and foil need to be replaced. Well, I could do that, but usually when that's the problem, the keys don't work rather than the keys working when they're not supposed to. And like I said, when I open up a standard Compaq portable keyboard, disintegrated foam is falling out of it. This one, I didn't have that. The foam that's in here still is springy and fresh, not crunchy, not disintegrating. I really don't think these foams need to be replaced. I could do it, and I would do it if I get to the point where I can't get it to work. But I'm not sure that that's the problem. And in fact, I even question if that's a good idea because, if I replace all those foams and this thing's very finicky about how the foam rests in there, well, now I've touched and, I've basically adjusted every key. And if it don't like how the new foam rests in there, then I could make things worse. I don't know. So that's where this project is right now. I need to tear the keyboard apart and try to make my keys not sticky. And once I get to that point, at least I have a stable floppy drive now, so I can boot to a floppy consistently. The hard drive works, but I want to back it up and reformat it and install Compaq DOS 3.10 on it. Yeah, so if I get the keyboard fixed up, and if I could manage to get the handle off of there and replace that with my better condition handle and get this put back together, it'll be a nice machine again. Could be dirt on the contacts when you took apart. Now it's under the contacts. And yay for floppy. Thank you. Yeah, I actually did clean up all the board with the contacts on there because I know before my D key wasn't working, my enter key wasn't working when I first did, and I reseated the foam. Actually, the enter key wasn't working. I reseated the foam, got the enter key working, then the D stopped working, and there was a lot of dust and dirt in this keyboard. So I cleaned that all up. So all the contacts are clean now. Maybe I cleaned it up too much. I don't. And now I don't know. I gotta take it apart, dig it apart, go over each of the keys and how the foam's sitting in there. Tedious, boring work. That's the thing. Fixing these up is a lot of boring, tedious stuff. And then you get it nice and working and you feel great and you have an old machine that isn't very useful. But it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, actually, one thing I want to see if it'll boot my flight simulator backup disk, because that disk is a tough disk to get to boot. I don't know why I have trouble getting that disk booting. Let's see, one of these disks I think I put Flight Simulator on. And sometimes it boots, sometimes it doesn't. So I think that's kind of like my stress test. I bought these bonus blank disks off of eBay because when we got our first family computer, we had a box of those and use those to back up stuff. So I like the looks of those because that's what we used to have growing up. And I grabbed Flight Simulator 2 and figured out how to get that vintage backup image onto a disk. Of course, I'm going to probably get another keyboard error because things misfiring. Yep, keyboard error. F1. All right, let's F1. And let's see if it actually boots this disk now. Well, it's trying to. And lift the head. Huh. Yeah, that disk. I don't know. Like I bought like a lot of 5 of these off of eBay, and I don't get errors on them. It seems to be sometimes they work, and then sometimes the computer just doesn't want to read them. And I don't know if it's just because they're old, and I don't know. All right, so that errored out in a way that just timed out and gave me nothing. All right, so that's still not working. Of course, it could be that I used a more modern floppy drive to image these disks with the older formatting, and sometimes that makes them less readable. All right, anyways, the floppy drive's working better and working consistently for my DOS boot disks, and that's where the project is. So yeah, I guess maybe this evening, maybe next weekend when I'm feeling up to it, I'll tear this apart again and try to do the tedious work of getting the keyboard working. And once I get the keyboard to a stable place, and once I get that handle off of there, I'll basically at the point where it's ready to, put it back together and play with it some. We'll do a live stream of that. So, yeah, not sure what I'm going to do next after I get this put back together. Well, I got time to figure that out. I guess I could do the other 2 floppy Compaq Portable, because that one also has a problematic floppy drive that might be as simple as cleaning the head. And that has a keyboard that definitely needs to be refoamed. So, well, thank you for joining in. That's the latest update on this machine, and I'll keep you posted as more update. And hopefully one of these weekends we'll do a live stream of putting it all back together and seeing what it looks like all nice and cleaned up and put together. Thank you for watching, and you have a great day.